What's going on, guys? It's me, Shukashu. We are back with another umamusume video. In this video, we are gonna get started with the CM that, I'll be honest, I didn't notice until probably a while ago, and that it was the CM. So here we are. A part of me thought that I may have forgotten for some odd reason, but it would have been impossible, but I thought I may have forgotten day one, round one for some odd reason. Felt like it because I was like, huh, did I forget day one, round one? I swear I logged in and didn't see it. But it is what it is. Well, at least I logged in prior to it, so I wasn't aware that it was gonna be up today. That's my fault. But regardless, here we are. But simply enough, it is medium distance, so I can use some of the ones that I've trained before, because honestly the second half of, well, pretty much after the short distance League of Heroes, right, it's just been a little bit weird on the second half of the training for the scenarios. It's weird because I didn't do anything different, but this is a team we're going to be using. And then before we do jump into the races and comments, if you guys haven't joined our Discord server, link is down in the comment down, or in the description down below. Not in the comment section, but link is down in the description down below, not the comment section, once again. I guess long story short, I didn't really do anything much in the other games, notable at least, so nothing to mention there. Nothing to mention there. I'm just gonna get started straight away with the comments because there's a lot. So this is actually a perfect time also, since CM races will just go on in the background and we'll just keep doing it for as long as I go to comments, I suppose. So all I know is global is also CM this week, not tomorrow. Was it tomorrow or is it the other day? I'm not sure. I just know it's this week, very soon, because I know it's up already, like the team prep. So hopefully that goes somewhat decent. Somewhat decent as in I just stick to Group B as always. But yeah, I'm gonna start going over the comments and I'm trying to figure out who to start off with first. Okay, so it looks like it's a good half and half, maybe, between replies and comments. I think maybe a little bit more towards comments, but it's all good. Let me see. I guess we'll just start off with Kazuki, then we'll go off with Asta's, then Nova's to Tanoki's, because I feel like that would be a better... No, we'll go Tanoki's and Nova's, because then I would assume that he may have responded to what I said in his response last time, and then Nova's. So yeah, we'll go with that order. So the first one set of comments from Kazuki, because there's a few, is it says, "Oh crap, it's finally time for the last CM of this scenario." It is, and then after it will be the new scenario, and it's gonna be like another first 2 weeks where we're just chilling and waiting, week and a half. Chilling and waiting to see what's gonna happen because of the free pulls, and then there we go on, right? Moving on to the new one. Damn, I'm gonna miss the scenario. This scenario was honestly chill. I just don't know what happened the second half for myself, so it is what it is. I ain't complaining. Noah says, "I have a feeling the next one is gonna be mid." It might be one of those where there's a little bit more into the gimmick of things, kind of like, I guess, the Three Goddesses and all that, where you might need to do a certain thing or whatever. That's what I'm thinking, at least. Next comment from Kazuki says, "My Gentle went crazy on the second ticket. She took 3 out of 5 wins, while Almond Eye, my carry, took only 1 win. Same second ticket." I'm wondering if I can get a win at least. But we'll see. We shall see in this video if we can make it to Group B at the very least. But we'll see if we even make it to Group A. Because I will be moving at least one or two Umas around just to see if I can get a better one. But honestly, my two best ones is between Almond Eye and at least rank wise is Almond Eye and Love's Only You. But as you can see, it hasn't been going too well in the beginning. Cap was just up there because he was one of the UA7s. I was going to try Kita also for the UA7. But that was just the first story, so we'll just see how it goes. We'll just see how it goes. And Almond Eye, she took 3 out of 5 wins on the first ticket. So maybe they're kind of just even in a way. Maybe. I don't know, because you said, oh wait, she took on the third ticket. If Almond Eye did on the first ticket, then maybe. Maybe they're quite even at this point. And then, so yeah, I did day 1, round 1, and my Uma's actually doing great with 10 out of 15. Well, first ticket 3, second ticket 4, and third ticket 3 wins. And yeah, I advanced to Group A. Nice. I'm more surprised for my Gentle. Didn't expect her to perform that well with decent build. And Nova says, so far I trained 4 times and managed to get to Group A. Between her, Donna is kicking these Almond Eye's butt, but also I think Admire Groove is on fire too. I'm just here trying. We'll see how my races go. If anything, I don't even know, but I'll try to train someone. Someone. Maybe I'll try Gentle Donna to try something different along with Red Desire. While round 1 is still going on. That way, maybe tomorrow we'll have different Umas to try out while I go over comments. We'll see. But other than that, thank you Kazuki and Nova for replying to Kazuki's comments. Appreciate as always. Next comments are going to be from Asta. First one says, if we talk about the idols of the original Arknights, and there are some of them, Haruka, Sora, and others, it's just that the one in Enfield with robotic legs will be a bit annoying. And speaking of the original Arknights, I've been playing on my phone for about 3.5 years, and I'm still playing, and it's still good. Well, I guess for me, that just clears up that it's not an idol thing, it's just a character thing. Who knows? Maybe things will change when she's actually released, implemented into the story or whatever. But as of right now, it just seems like you just don't like the fact that she maybe just has robotic legs for flying. Because she does have normal legs, from what I've seen at least. But it just seems like she gets like the whole robotic nanotech technology or whatever that Iron Man does for robotic legs to fly. I don't know. I could be wrong. Nova says, nice. I'm thinking about getting TT even though she's not meta. And Asta says, I skipped her. I need Chen 3. My Chen, 2 Chen I have. I need Alter for my collection. I don't play Arknights, so at least I didn't play that long of Arknights. I did play somewhat for a while, but then it just became one of those games that eventually faded away. Pretty sure we all have those games. In NT, I skipped Chaos for Shinku. Same. Same. Maybe her clothes are simple, long white shirt and short shorts, but her long hair of 2 colors, thick tail at the back and horns, gorgeous. I'm like an expert in that because in the original Arknights, I watched the Sarkaz race and I understand it well. I just like how Shinku looks. It's just that simple. I didn't not that much detail as yours, but yeah. Plus, yeah, that's all I could come up with, I guess. I've already seen Sigrid and Remio's gameplay. Looking at Sigrid, she's like weak Uma or something. Even her ult looks weak. Uh, I honestly didn't see it, so I don't know what you're talking about. Remio, well, it's no wonder that the developers loved Alicia to do everything, even her pink attacks, wings attack like Vulture from Marvel, and her two pillow physics and poses. Candy, Lord have mercy, we must stay focused, brothers, but no. I mean, let's just say Hoyo loves their pink characters to be, strong or, high tier or whatever you want to call them. Because they did go heavy in Amphorius with, well, there's Cyrene if you just want to go talk about Cyrene. But, I mean, Hyacinth is still really good, was really good for a healer. And then Evernight for March, which, and if you wanna consider Casters as part of the group, Casters, but I know she's purple. I know she's purple. But yeah, I get the whole pink hair theme. Nova says, but it's an Uma. Thoughtful. This will make up for the look I have in Uma so far. And then Asta says, rightly. It'll be funny if when you pull for Sigrid and you get her in like 40, 50 pulls or 4 to 10 pulls like you do in Uma. That'll be funny. Other than that, that's pretty much it for all the comments from Asta. So thank you, Asta, for all the comments. Appreciate it as always, and Nova for replying. Next will be from Tanoki, which will be up here. And then after that will all just be from Nova. And whoever responded to Nova's comments, which I would assume is mostly Tanoki and maybe Asta and Kazuki for a few of them. At least from what I saw when I was skimming through. So our first comment from Tanoki says, that's exactly it though. Regarding disappearing during big matches, there's actually a big game player hidden attribute within Football Manager. I think there's also something like that in 2K or Madden. I know for sure 2K because whether if it's the my career mode or my player mode, whatever they call it now, or the GM game mode, you still have like, I think the players still have their like 3 specific skills or abilities or whatever related to how they are in real life in a way. So some of them will have like microwaves, so they heat up quicker. That's like one of the few examples. I haven't done it in a long time. I think one of them might be closer or finisher, being able to finish at the rim. I'm just talking about 2K in general. And also like there's also something the whole GM mode is basically Football Manager, I guess, because you get to manage your own team. Whether you just want to start off fresh with whatever team they have for that year, for that game and that year that they release, or you can start a whole fantasy draft and literally mix up the whole league and draft your own team instead of starting off with your own or picking one of the default ones, so to speak. So I kind of get that whole thing. I did play a lot of that before when I used to play 2K and Madden a lot. It was fun. Also, like, yeah, you could also just see how you're, instead of playing the game yourself, also you could also have the computer play for you. Well, simulation, obviously, just based off your team and I guess the stats or whatever, and it'll simulate it however far you want, and you could just make it to however seasons you want. However many seasons you want in the future, because then they'll just start making, I think besides the next year's draft, after that it starts getting either, I don't know how they do it this time around, but I think after the following year, so the second year, then all that would be randomized players created by the game, if anything. But regardless, I kind of get what you're talking about when it comes to Football Manager and a different other games, like kind of similarities. It's always quite the experience when you finally finish up the save, then boot up the third-party attribute scrapper app just to take a look at all your players. 20 big matches versus, or 20 work rate is something you like probably always suspected or felt, but to finally see it is a feeling. As for real life, I feel like I kind of ruined real sports with some of the absolute monsters I've created in Football Manager. The closest way to describe it is that watching Chikiri and Blue Lock triggered a wave of nostalgia for something I've seen thousands of times. I think for me is I just had that separation between obviously the games and real life, whether watching the sport or playing the sport myself. I think I just already have that. I don't know. I never really put two and two together. So I don't know how to relate to that. Because the closest thing, well, not the closest thing. A lot of the things that me and my friends would talk about would be like uh conversations and all that would be like, oh, what if these players were in this team instead, or like just talking about scenarios that would have happened instead in the past, like what if scenarios. But other than that, nothing really that would ruin the real sport for me. All I know is basketball has been my favorite sport since I can remember. Football came along the way because it wasn't really big in my family. It was more basketball focus. Football just came a thing on my own as I grew up around middle school. And volleyball was more of a kind of the same thing, just getting into the sport more so than just watching volleyball games. I just got into it. So, and I don't really do anything else volleyball related besides looking at professional matches here and there, but that's pretty much it. Not really following on anything. But basketball, it's basically year round. Whether I'm doing fantasy leagues throughout the season, which in turn has me following the season. So even off season, once the NBA Finals is done, already got the winner of the season. It's straight to the off season. See what trade possibilities before the draft, which literally later today is the NBA draft. So I'll be keeping up on that to see who goes where in the draft, because usually by the beginning of the NBA season I start also getting into college basketball to see the prospects for the upcoming draft of that year. So yeah, there's a lot of things I keep up with throughout the season, and basically basketball is year round, because even during the off season after the draft, I'm still keeping up with the NBA news, see what's going on, if any trades have been made, or if any stories are coming up, and possibilities for all that. And yeah, next thing you know, it'll be the season. I'll be starting. One of the other leagues I do is my own league, and then the other two I join. I normally do three NBA leagues and 3 NFL leagues. And then once the football season starts in like 2 months, 3 months, do that. I still keep up with football stuff, except that since my team has kind of been irrelevant, not kind of, they've been pretty irrelevant the past forever. It feels like, even though we will have like 1 or 2 players that are good, it's not enough to bring a team to the Super Bowl, let alone the playoffs. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But don't even get me into expected goals points debate. Obviously, most open court games have more variations in plays, but have you played table tennis? I have, and I suck at it. Yeah, I don't think I've mentioned it, but I only played table tennis a few times. Heck, I don't even know if I can say 5 times, but a few times. Not just less than 5. We'll go with that. But I suck at it. I suck at table tennis. Let alone even when I tried tennis, normal tennis, I sucked at that too. Yep, I'd probably do better with. I'm trying to think of a different sport. I'd probably do better with baseball somehow, some way. And I've only like very, very casually followed baseball since starting high school. So I don't know if I can't even say for like soccer. I'm gonna just say soccer because of the sake of me saying football and people think I'm talking about American football. So we'll go with that for now. I don't think I'll be good with soccer, I'll be honest. All the times I've played it because it was the chosen sport to play that day and for like PE or whatever. Yeah. Nah. I'll just be goalie. That's probably what I'll be best at if I were to play soccer. At least that's what I think. At least that's what I think. I don't know what would happen if I would actually spend time. But that's neither here or now or even before, so it is what it is. Couldn't care less about the average player scores from there. Some players you just don't give them that. Probably is what you mean. Sometimes it does matter in the fantasy sense, because that would probably be one thing you want to go off from, even though there will be some days. Let's talk about more average to below average players. It's still a good average to see, especially once you get a good huge sample play of how they've been doing. Because obviously you're not just set in stone with whatever team you draft. You can obviously switch out players throughout the season, and not gonna lie, a good chunk of not a good chunk, probably like a good 3 or 4 of the players that I picked up in last year's fantasy league for me in my basketball league, those players made a big difference. Sometimes you gotta go risk it. Honestly, I was ready to drop one of them or try to trade one of them, but they stood strong until the end. They stood strong until the end, and honestly, is probably the main reason why I stayed ahead for the most part. And it's what I do every year. I mean, I'm literally in the waiver wire, just looking to see if there's any players that people may or may have given up on that, supposed to have good potential and all that. But all of this just comes down to research and all that. So too many things to consider, too many factors to consider. This also goes down to like team scheduling, or that's team schedules with their game of the week, because matches are based off the week. All the games you play throughout the week with the players you have, or I guess it depends also on how your league is set up, because it could be different. But yeah, there's just a lot to consider. Football's a little bit easier, or NFL's a little bit more easier in a sense, because they play once a week compared to the NBA, where it could range from 2 to 4 games a week, depending on the team. But since in the NFL, I would say that it's easier to come across injuries with how physical the game is. Because one week you could have one of the best wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, and they get hurt. You don't know how long they'll be hurt for the most part, unless it's a minor injury, or if it's a big injury. Now you got to plan for what you're gonna do for the future, and we got to win. So we're going to Group B, and then after that, do you hold on to them? Well, this goes in general in fantasy, but do you hold on to them, or do you drop them? For the most part, for me, especially in the NBA fantasy leagues, I normally hold on to them, especially if my schedule or if my record is going well. Like for this past season, I went, was it 15-1? I think there's 16 weeks. Or was it 17 weeks? Either or. I only lost once, and I lost that week because of injury. And this was my first win in a while. I was always third place at the very least, but injuries was a big factor that ruined a lot of my runs I could have won last year. Injuries got to me. Other year, yep. Every year's a different player with a different injury. That's messing me up. So it is what it is. And then, oops, there we go. Last comment from Tanoki says, I think we'll be fine. Tension is way less than the first time. I think that's a given, since the first time is the first time. I don't think anything will be worse unless you somehow push through push through the boundary, that the invisible boundary that we don't know how far you go. So unless that's happened, then we'll see. Or unless there's a bigger topic more than the first time. But for me, it's kind of just like, yeah, usually when it first initially happens, it'll be like WTF moment. I'll get heated, obviously, because heat of the moment. Next video will be explanation, and the third video is basically to clear up. Usually that's what it seems like, or how the process, at least from what I've noticed. It's the same thing that happened with Eugen and Nova in the past. First video where it happens, WTF. Second video, explanations. Third video onwards, it'll be more like, oh yeah, we're over it now. It's what it is. Now, we don't spend too long in the insert claim here stage and move to the insert claim for me stage pretty much instantly, so it's all Gucci. Yeah, it's like I said, first one, when it initially happens, is the reaction. Second one is more of a, all right, let me see my side, my side type of thing to clear things up. And then the next one is, okay, everything's all cleared up now. That's why I say it's not really like beef at all, because it's more things got heated, misunderstandings, whatnot, or whatever. So yeah, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the comments from Tanoki, unless he says one of his comments that he normally does sometimes, or at least recently it's been more consistent. It's gonna be like shoo recording somewhere around here. If I honestly was truly pissed, or like actually if I was actually pissed, because or like whatever, you guys would tell. I wouldn't be this chill about it 2 videos, 3 videos later, or even the next video later. It wasn't even that bad. It was just more explanations and stuff, if anything. So it's all good. It's all good. Plus, even you guys can see, even Tanoki says so. But other than that, thank you again, Tanoki, for the comment. Appreciate it as always. Comments. And then the last comments we'll be going over is all going to be from Nova, unless new ones pop up after. So the first one from Nova says, I'd say my Enfield luck is decent, surprisingly. Got Bongi's weapon in the first 10 pull. That seems to be lucky, I'd say. Yeah, I would say honestly, with Enfield and NC, they're both kind of relatable to me, because it seems like I would have enough, I guess, arsenal coins or whatever it is in Enfield, and I would have enough of the keys in NCE for the character that I'm pulling. So I don't feel like I have to worry about too much for the weapons in those 2 games compared to, like, let's say Zenless, because Wuwa is guaranteed. It's just a matter of, do you have to go all the way to, was it 90, 80 pulls? Or was it 100? I don't know. Or will you get it before? So NTE and Enfield just a little bit lower, I think, right? I think they're pretty much even, but I think the separate weapon currency is what makes it possible in a way, if you have enough, because obviously you have the Beetle or the Hunter exchange, and that one gives you a good amount of keys, like honestly enough keys for one character where you're guaranteed the weapon. So unless you're thinking about duping that, then that's the different story. But that's how I see it, if we're talking about the weapons specifically. The same thing I feel with Enfield. Somehow I feel like I've had enough. I haven't really struggled, because I got Rossi's Obviously, I went for it after I got Rossi. After, like I mentioned, I got it like 20 pulls in because I lost to Li Feng and then Rossi popped up. I already mentioned this before. And then after that, got Fang Yi, but I'm pretty sure I went down to 70 or around there, or 80, one of those. And then Mifu was around 70, 80 as well. So it wasn't exactly bad. I haven't really gone all the way down to 120, I think. It feels like. And I still have a good amount of pulls, so I'll be able to pull for Arcane without having to worry. At least that's how I feel at the moment. And it's the same situation in NTE where I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about for Shinku because right now I'm guaranteed because I was trying to go for my pulls for the Lacrimosa skin and I ended up at 70, so I'm like, yeah, I must stop here. So Shinku is guaranteed. So whatever I farm up from here on out, besides whatever I use to get Shinku, hopefully the next 10 pull or so, will be used for probably phase 2 for Iroi. And then after that, like I said, probably skipping 1.3 most likely, probably because I'm unsure. And then saving and then pulling for the entirety of 1.4, which I've said that 1.4 seems to be the the patch where things decide to be not nice. I spent a while in Edgefield space since there's literally no source of rocks for Enfield. I kind of just regret doing it. It was so boring and lackluster that I just don't want to do it. I'll just do contingency contract instead. I cleared out the rocks in the shop. So I came across Enfield today and I noticed that I didn't have any batteries and I'm like, why don't I have any batteries? So I don't know what happened. Like my first original problem fixed when it came to the 1.3 update, and then like it fixed by itself, and then now I have another problem. Like, okay, not having batteries is a problem, so I have to look into that, but I have to see if I have time to do it today. So we'll see what happens there. As for the end game stuff, I'm assuming is what you're talking about. I don't think I haven't tried the new one where people were saying it was hard. So I'm gonna see what I do there. Show carders is no longer an issue, I think, for me. I farmed the hell out of it during the raid up. If I feel like not having Lucy save me a bunch of time, I don't have to build Rebecca either. I think I can get several more free pulls from the Cyberpunk event and then I'm done. No FOMO needed. It's kind of hard for me not to. Well, I technically don't even have the FOMO because I got Lucy. I will say that I did end up getting Lucy's weapon. Now the biggest question is Rebecca's, because now I didn't even pull much. I don't remember exactly, but I didn't pull much for Lucy's weapon. Thankfully, it's guaranteed thanks to how Wuwo does their weapon banners. But now I'm kind of like, Yang Yang, Sui, I don't have much. So I don't know how it's going to go. So we'll just see how it goes. I mean, after I do the events, that's possible. The end game content, we'll see how much I get before, or by the time we hit, was it 3.5? Maybe I'll even do the story and other end game stuff if they update before they release again, or if they update again before the release of Yang Yang. We'll see what happens there. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go do the pulls. We'll figure it out when we hit 3.5. Still got like, what, over 2 weeks, something like that. So we'll see. So yeah, I didn't really have FOMO because it just basically was given to me, I guess. Same here, pulling for Shinku and I believe it's Iroi, not Iori. Gonna have to build up another team. Eventually I'll have a full team for every element. So what I see here is I could technically replace Zero or Coco Replace Coco and Mint in my Hattori team, and I think I can make it work. I made it to Group A. I made it to Group A, guys. I don't know if I mean, I'm cool with that, but I don't know if that's gonna be a good thing for round 2. I was gonna be a good thing for round 2. Oh man, we'll see. We'll see in round 2 then. I didn't even realize I had 3 wins. I just thought that I thought that was my second one, but I want to see how Shinku and Iori is gonna do if I replace Coco and Mint. Because I was thinking I was gonna replace Mint for Shinku, but then Iori's Anima, so triggering Blossom shouldn't be an issue if I have Iori and Ji-Win in the same team, as well as obviously having Hattori to trigger Blossom as well. But I'll have 2 ways to trigger it at least, and 2 DPS, one being Hattori, the hybrid DPS and whatever, and then Shinku being the main DPS. Then Ji-Win obviously being another hybrid, then Iori being the support. So with that, I could possibly just be able to trigger Blossom continuously in a way, as long as I keep doing these switch outs properly. At least that's what I'm thinking. If not, then I can honestly just keep Shinku. Possibly just use Shinku to replace Mint, even though I just got Mint to level 70. And then maybe find another thing for Iori. I mean, if Iori's gonna be a support healer or whatever, I would just assume that she'll be good for multiple teams. So that's also another consideration on why I'm gonna be pulling for Iori. Have I been saying Iori? It's because I read your comment, Nova. But regardless, for Iori, I think that's my plan. 1.4 and 3.1 Shushu. These are the most Yabai patches. 3.1. What was that? Was that Imeth? But it was just Imeth. If we're talking about Wuwa. What was 3.1 and... Oh, 3.1 in Wuwa's... I mean, in Zenless is also... Remiel. And Sigrid, right? Yeah, I can go with that. I'm trying to remember the others, but I don't, so... I think Star Rail... Was that 3.1? Was 3.1 Amphorius? I think so. Yeah, because I think that was Herda. I think. And people do like Herda. I do like Herda. Maybe it is 1.4 and 3.1. Maybe it is. To answer that, Shushu, contingency contract is the hardest mode Arknights has to offer. I think you'll have to lock in with that mode. Think of holograms for Wuwa. Oof. Happy Father's Day to all male rovers, I guess. What was that Dark Ages for that channel before I joined? What Dark Ages? I don't know what I said. That's hilarious to think about if Shushu actually went ham on the swearing at Noki and then you get a cut every 2 seconds in the video. Either it'll be a cut every, I guess, 2 seconds or so, or it'll just be a big, like, very obvious cut. Or, to be funny, I'll just mute the whole thing. And you'll just see me just getting heated at the camera without the audio. You just hear whatever background music is playing at that part of the video. PGR is a gacha I tried twice but failed. I guess it's too punishing for me. I mean, I heard good things about it. I never tried it though. That was just my problem. I never tried it. Sometimes it'd be like that. GFL 2 is stacked with idols. If you ask me, I'll pick Yuhi as the best one, followed by Sharky, or I think, yeah, whatever. Sharky, Vepli, kind of mid for me, not gonna lie. I think that's pretty much the same order for me as well. Could I just speed through this? Yeah, I could just speed through this and not go through this. Actually, we'll just go through it. I already made it to Group A anyway, so there's no point in me holding on to it. On this one does have some responses from Tanoki, so... I've seen snakes twice already in my life. One from Monster Musume and the other one from Doctor with Monster Musume. Not anime. Like real life. Besides like the zoo, I don't think I've exactly encountered a snake. What I don't know is whether Wise or Akira in the JP dub is going to be another version of Pyrois or not. Maybe a support? Or is it Pyrois? How do you guys say it? I think Pyrois is the appropriate way of saying it, right? Wise? Another version? Would he? I don't know. You're saying I don't think he would, because then it would be like, so we're gonna give another. So essentially, are you saying that at one point the other sibling, whoever you have as the other sibling, because obviously some will have Wise or Bell, depending on the character they use. Are you saying that the Wise or Bell sibling left would be a character? Because technically the main character, the main sibling we're using isn't a main like agent yet, or whatever you want to call him. Because Pyrois is a whole different thing. It's whatever is inside Bell. Obviously, because we do see Bell, and essentially, if you've seen JoJo's, it's like a stand in a way. So the AI goes by another name. Lockspring was probably the oldest one we met so far, since it knows about Sunbringer. Then again, I'm sure we'll get more backstory about that AI in the future. Lockspring was just a victim in my mind. Yeah, that's why I said, wasn't it the AI it was talking about? Or that did all the talking while it controlled Lockspring. Like, Lockspring was simply just the body it possessed while it was during that chapter of when it was that chapter in Zenless. I don't know where I'm trying to go there. Because there was two different personalities in Lockspring. There was Lockspring, or in Lockspring's body, it was the AI, and there was Lockspring which I would assume had knowledge of the of Sunbringer, because it did seem like a Bang Boo that came from a long time ago in a way. Plus, it was heavily affected and all that. But whatever, right? We'll figure out when that other AI comes back. They'll probably try and take over Fairy again or something. Or something. The Lolly Sunbringer, though, has a very nice personality, but flat as usual. That's usually how they do the Lolly characters. Usually. This is just me, but 2.0 Zenless has that certain mix of main plot versus filler arcs to it. What I got from 2.0 is definitely the understanding that the creator is a threat as old as time. 3.0 so far has been full plot, baby. Well, it's literally 3.0. We don't know what it's going to be in the next couple patches, because from what I understand, from from 0.0 to 0.4 or 5 will be the main arc, and then from there it'll go into side arcs and all that, side stories, kind of like how Wua ended in 3.4 for the rover, the Lahai Roy. Basically, you could kind of think of it as the same thing for, was it the same in 2.0 where in the beginning, I don't remember for Renesita, because there was the whole thing in the beginning, and then we cut back to Septimont for a while. I think we just stayed in Septimont, and it had that brief moment going back to Renesita and then back to Septimont to finish off the Black Tide. Something like that. I think that was pretty much the entirety of the patch, right? Or the 2.0 patches. Because it was the same thing in the beginning in 1.x patches, where the first like 2, 3 was, or I guess shorter than that. Because I think after 1.1 or 1, yeah, 1.1, it was the Mount Firmament, and then after Mount Firmament, we had the all the side stuff, and then into the Black Shores. So I feel like it's been like that. Because after 1.4, or the end of the main story in Zenless, we literally went to more side stories like Anby and all that. So, and Vivian with Mockingbird. So, and Lighter. So I think it's a normal thing on why even Lahai Roy ended around 3.4. Because I think now that I'm talking about it like this, it kind of makes sense why most of these stories end around like the middle, like 3.4, 3.5, or like 0.4, 0.5. Because then it allows them to go more into side stories. Maybe that's why we're going back to Huanglong or going to Mingzhou in Wuwa. And that's pretty much why towards the second half of the 2.0 patches or 2.x patches in Zenless, it was like the Angels of Delusions, right? Because the main arc was already done with Xiao Guang's brother going on his own way, which transitioned into the Angels of Delusions because they're, what was it, golden, their new year basically, I guess. Their new year was like the bridge between the end of the story and then going into Angels of Delusions. Because even in the middle of that story, during the fireworks or whatever celebration performance, they showed her brother. So yeah, I think it's a good mix of both for the most part. We'll get our share of main plot for a while, and then we'll start getting side stuff. But the real question is, are we misunderstanding that this is a misunderstanding? Sometimes, yeah, it could happen. It could happen. But I think for the most part, a lot of these moments happens because of misunderstandings, or it's being purposely done in some cases. It's only fair that I can have my jabs at you, Noki, for being intentionally poor in gotchas. You a bum. I'll not say anything. That's just what he said, Tanoki. That's one thing I can agree with, Noki. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, I say. But be careful in that this iron fist of yours will be used against you someday. I mean, it's basically that saying where treat others how you want them to treat you in return, right? Something like that. Treat others how you want them to treat you. That's why I'll just snap back at you if it's obviously a heat of the moment reaction. I'll snap back. Numbers bleh, but I think what Shushu notes here is that is a sarcasm of your comment. That was what I emphasized the most here. Like I said, it had nothing to do about the numbers. Obviously, some of the things I like to do on the side, like my hobbies or whatever, involves a lot of numbers and analytical data, whatever you want to go through all that. So, plus if I hated numbers, I don't think I would have cared a lot of things in gotcha games. But I definitely do care about numbers that matter to me, like I said. But continue on with Noah's comment. Sarcasm to me at least seems to imply that you are belittling the said person in your comments. So I can see why Shushu got heated. But Noki is the way he is, so it is what it is, I guess. Yeah. Tanoki says, if I wanted to be sensitive, I could have at multiple points taken you and Shushu as pretty dismissive and derogatory. Think about how reframing something into how little you care for it, how little it affects you, or how insignificant it is, and toss it all away. We already do that all the time with character taste. People bring up what they like, what we talk about us, and sometimes we reframe something into how little you might care for the character. Then we meme about it and not get all sensitive about it. That is true. But that's for those things. There will be other things where, yeah, I get it. I get it. It's funny that things that we, I guess, in a sense, get sensitive or heated about are also things we've most likely done. But the topic is a whole different situation. I guess the topic of, or the subject of that time would probably more or less dictate it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Nova says in return, surely even underneath your hard crocodile skin, there's a place of understanding that people do have different level of tolerance, right? That is true. That is true. I can't speak for Shushu, but I think I'm not as tolerant, but also not too sensitive. There comes to a point where you put enough jabs at something, and that person will ultimately be ticked off. Yep, everyone will have their own boiling point, essentially. It's not how you, Noki, perceive it, rather, it's how the other person perceives your language. Yeah, because they don't know that how you're how you're thinking about it in your mind, because to them it's how they take it. So it's kind of you know. And then Tanoki says, I suppose, but my general approach has been relatively cordial. Policies that keep the jabs proportional, which in my opinion it has been. Even if I'm not personally offended, I dish out what I receive. What I found is there's a lot of people who test boundaries, and if I let it get to that point, it's already too far. I'm not expecting perfect harmony, but it's just ensuring people around me can take what they dish out, or at least don't hold grudges. Like I said, I don't. If it's not obvious, I don't hold grudges. I'll mention it for fun, and because to me, if I mention it and I'm laughing about it in the end, at the end of the day, months later, years later, then it's just something that at the end of the day became something to laugh about to me. And then Nova says that calculating social lifestyle is too exhausting for me, not gonna lie. Yeah. I don't mind getting all calculating for certain things, but to put it through towards a lot of things towards life, I can agree with it being tiring. Hence, me not being like into the whole numbers thing that don't matter to me. If it matters to me, I'll care about it. If it wasn't obvious, if it's something, yeah, you guys get it. But at this point, please don't mention the number 672. Thanks. Oh, I don't worry. I won't. If I read it, I read it. That's the most you'll see it from me. If I unintentionally say it because it just so happens to be part of the sentence I'm about to say or read, yeah, that's how it's gonna happen. And then Tanoki says, I'd ban me for that alone, to be frank. Well, you were the one who did say it. That's how I ended up saying it in the comment yesterday, or in the video yesterday, and Nova's the reason why I said it again today. So if you had noticed, ever since that thing started up, I haven't said or really said anything about it because I don't care about it at all. So y'all don't need to worry about me saying it again just because I want to. And we got another 3 wins. All I can say about this most recent Noki Shushu drama is raising both of my hands up, absolute cinema. You're treating this Noki thing like the usual hurricane season. That's amazing. Well, if it's happened more than once, the second time is kind of like, oh, so this might be you kind of just have to prepare your mindset and be like, is this going to be a continuous thing? And lo and behold, yeah, it has happened. It has happened. Which proves to me that I feel like Tanoki just does this just like it's, I guess, hurricane season. Or eventually happen throughout the year. So we'll see what happens. Tanoki says, that's how I feel my troll side is always meant to be treated. I show up, blow up a discussion, and leave while people clean up. I much prefer my long analytical side, but I switch quick and it does stun everyone. Then Nova says, Noki, are you low-key schizophrenic? I'll let him answer that. And then lastly, unless I refresh and there's more, Well, this TOA in Wuwa is pretty darn hard. Molded around an hour on the first floor of the middle tower. And let's just say I was forced to use a wonky Zani team. Wow. I think I'll just wait for Yang Yang's release and then try it. I did this before with Zenless and DA since the buff was only meant for the upcoming characters, so I waited. Of course, Zenless is friendlier in that way. They can let you get away with doing 2 battles instead of all 3. I can't skip the middle tower in Wuwa. The middle tower is the most important tower, I'd say. But, I mean, obviously you see it in Zenless. I post it. So, and I've always been getting the 9 stars for Deadly Assault and not 100k, but I still get S for shield defense. I don't get 100k too often anymore, at least. But that's because I clear it before the new character they plan it for gets released. And honestly, if I'm clearing it without it and still getting 9 stars or clearing shield defense with an S, I ain't gonna complain. I'm doing it with what I have, and that's fine. But I haven't tried TOA. Wuwa is like the one in the end game where I'm like, do I need the character or do I not? So I haven't tried it, so I'll see what happens. Maybe later, maybe tomorrow, who knows. But let me refresh before I end off the comments. Oh, there is 2 more from Nova. All I can say about this most recent Noki Shushu drama is, okay, I already read that. Nuts is back, but where is Rick? Rick is in the global section, if I'm going to be honest. He's been more in the global videos than the JP videos, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's him just giving global some love, since everyone else is in JP. Maybe. But it doesn't change the fact that I still have to, if I'm training, I still do I'm gonna go focus on the training and I'll see you guys at the end type of deal. So it still doesn't change that. But I do appreciate the comments regardless. But other than that, thank you, Nova, Kazuki, and Tanoki for the comments, and Asta for the comments. Appreciate it as always. And for the continuing support. And with that being said, perfect timing. We'll end the video here. So we made it to Group A. Honestly, I'd say we did kind of well. I don't know, did Keto win? Keto did not win. But Loves Only You won 3 times. And I guess Almond Eye won 3 times. So we won 6 out of, was it 15? We made it to Group A, so yeah. With that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys didn't make it this far, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and let me know how you guys did in your day 1, round 1 runs, races for the CM. And if there's anything else you want to talk about or ask me, just leave it down in the comment section down below. As long as appropriate, I'll go over it. And if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description. So with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you once again. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.